You clapping? Why we got 3 chairs?
One for the Father. Oh, loving you. Loving me. Loving you.
Yeah, love me, love you, love that.
Hello, Crystal, Cherry, Blake.
Hey everybody! Tanya, Brian, Chanel, Ziggy! Hey Ziggy! Lacey!
Who that?
That's Chanel and Tanya. We're gonna give a couple more minutes. Well, a couple more, few more seconds, should I say. Go invite someone. Go invite someone
Please
to the
share.
page. Go invite someone to the page.
Please share.
Yeah, go share. Hey, Lacey. Go invite someone. Yeah.
Hey, Shalise. You mean something? Oh, those are shorts.
Yes.
Hey, Tia.
Tia Farrar. Hey, sweetie.
Thank you, Tanya. Tanya. Yes, Tanya. I want the Tanya. Tanya. Make sure you get your name right. One more time. Hey, Renee.
Hey, Renee. Hey, Betty. That's my cousin, y'all. That's my cousin. We love you too, Lacey. Thursday love. Y'all dancing? Y'all supposed to be dancing with me. Thursday love. Cause I can't sing. All right. We ready?
Sure.
We ready? Can you turn the music off? No. That's enough. All right. One more time. Yes. Hey, God, mommy. Mommy gonna kill me for saying that. All right. Lexi Pooh. Congratulations to the Crenshaws on baby number 2. Yeah.
I hope she been behind. Oh,
She already blasted it on Facebook.
Okay, just
I wouldn't have done that to her.
She ain't mind you telling me. I'm just trying to get it straight, Lex. Hey, Danielle.
All right, welcome everybody to Thursday Love. Amen. We continue to show the love. Come on, let's see your like, show the love, and share the page. Come on, invite someone on tonight. We're going to continue our series on tonight with loving me, loving you, and loving us. And so we're going to get into tonight. But before we get in it, we want to say a shout out to all the graduates on today. Our baby girl Taylor graduated from kindergarten on today. Yay, the baby girl.
Hey, TT.
Baby Bridgers. She graduated from kindergarten today. I didn't cry though. I was good.
Yeah, I don't believe that, man.
I was good. And so congratulations to all the graduates and all those kids who got promoted, and to the great parents out there who are shouting out and reaching and supporting and helping their children to excel. Awesome. So,
Yeah, but all that means is that Sherry's getting a year older.
we just want to love on the parents out there. We proud of the parents. Go parents. Yay.
Yeah, so that means, and also they got out of school today, so once again, that means they're here for the summer, so no more quiet time.
No more quiet time. All right. So thank you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you to everyone that has that joined in last week. It's tough thing for us to actually step out of our comfort zone, but
Yeah.
this is something that God has given us to do, not just for the married couples, but for the singles. Those who are the up and coming graduates, I would say, the ones who are. Why are you looking like that? The ones who have a desire, or the ones who are graduating to marriage.
That's a graduation.
Yeah, it's a graduation.
Hallelujah.
Those who have a desire to be married. Just some tricks and trades that we can give. Like we said, if you having major issues, go get some professional help. And like I said, if you're engaged, you make sure you get counseling from your pastor.
If you have a pastor, yes.
Yeah, your pastors.
Go get counseling for them. We're just going to give you just a little bit of us. We're just going to share a little bit of us. And hopefully what we have, our tools, may help. Because everybody has their own book on marriage. Whatever works for you, works for you. But we just going to try to make it work for anybody else that's out there. Hey, Lindell. So,
Please share.
So, once again, thanks to everybody that joined in. We had some great responses and some great reviews last week. We are overwhelmed by the love and support that came through on last week, and how much people really enjoyed it. And we love the real critiques that came back, and the little testimonies. We got a few testimonies. We got some few encouragements and a few ideas too. So, because we really want to open this up, not only to married couples, but to everyone. Thursday Love is not just about married couples. We do want to stress that. We're about relationships. I think that's the thing. Relationships all the way around. And a lot of times the things that we talk about, the things that we're trying to pour into people, are simple principles, simple foundational principles that can help anyone with any type of relationship. But we are married, so the ultimate goal for us, we'll talk about marriage. So. All right.
So. Last week was a pretty good discussion, and we're still talking about loving me, loving you, and loving us.
Yes. So
we ended off somewhat with pretty much talking about the lie, right? Am I mistaken?
Well, we talked about a little bit about being broken and realizing that we didn't love us because we were broken. We didn't know who we were.
Okay.
So. That was a real good discussion where we just kind of went off the bat and gave a little bit of testimony how we met, how I was broken, how I didn't know who I was when I stepped into this relationship with TJ. I carried a lot of baggage, a lot of shame and guilt, insecurities. I just didn't know who I was. I was blind. And so getting with him, I stated last week that, by him being a church boy, in my mind, the way I was raised, the way I thought, is that church people were perfect. They didn't make any mistakes. They didn't do anything wrong. And so, that's where I kind of went with it. But on tonight, we're kind of going to veer, staying with our topic, loving me, loving you, loving us. But I think tonight we're going to still talk about something that kind of holds us back. But it will help expose everything about us so we can know how to truly love ourselves.
So before we get to tonight's topic, everybody that's on this live that think that Sherry is beautiful, give me some hearts and likes over the screens. I don't see any coming.
Wow.
Hello. I don't see any hearts, any likes.
Oh God. Let's get into the topic.
All right.
Tonight.
So,
oh, wow.
There we go. I see some. There we go. So I see some on my page. Wonderful. So, thank you. There's some honest people in the kingdom. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For the love.
So, tonight's topic, what we're going to talk about.
Thank you, guys. Oh my God.
Because I was about to say, what y'all think she ugly or something? I think she's beautiful. Anyway.
It takes a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's a delay.
I forgot it's social media. So, tonight's topic. Hey, Doris. Hey, Vita. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Deidre. Hey, Apostle. Hey, Tia.
Hey, Apostle.
Hey, Jamie Harmon.
Deidre, Tia. Hey, you guys.
Tonight's topic, what we're going to talk about is the lie.
Jamie, my number. Hey, my big sis. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're going to talk about, y'all see me get her that look. She pulled up. All right. So we're going to talk about the lie tonight. The thing called the lie is very, how would I say it is. What's the statement you made last week about doing the work?
Doing the work?
Yeah, about people want to see the finished results.
Oh, perfection.
Right. The statement.
Perfection. Okay, so God gave me a statement last week. It says, people will rather see perfection than to do the work to become perfected.
Okay, and so read tonight's. Okay,
so tonight, our statement, our quote is coming from a quote that I got from a good family friend back at home. He shared it on his page. He always shares inspirational quotes. And so he shared this a couple of months back, and it really blessed me, and it's kind of sticking with me. It says, before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage.
Read that one more time.
Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage.
Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage. Now we know there's different components as it pertains to marriage, communication and finance and so forth and so on. But one of the key, I believe, one of the most important, other than having a relationship with God and so forth and so on, I believe that one of the most important things that we need to have in marriage is honesty. I'm going to say that again. I believe that one of the most important things that we need to have in marriage is honesty.
Yes.
And when I mean honesty with yourself, honesty with your spouse, honesty with God.
Yes.
Most importantly, because you can lie to everybody else, but you cannot lie to God, because God will strip you, especially if you're a worshiper or whatever, in your private time. God will strip you of all of your I say falsehoods, I don't know if it is a word. All of your falsehoods, he will show you.
Yes.
All right, so, and what I mean by the lie. Who that?
Go ahead, keep going.
So,
I'm sorry.
Lies can destroy marriage. And when I'm speaking of lies, I'm not speaking of lies as if, someone lying on you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the lies that you tell yourself. We're still talking about loving me, loving you, loving each other, basically. Loving us. Thank you. Help me out. Help me out. That ain't funny. So, I'm talking about the lies that you tell yourself. Now, here's some of the things that the lies that you tell yourself can cause. Not loving yourself, all right, can cause you to hate others. It can cause jealousy, envy, strife, contention, and anger. And some people might say, well, what does that have to do with the lie? Well, one of the things that we tell ourselves is that we are inadequate. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about anybody else, but even though I grew up in church and the Shigga Mashai and all that other stuff, but there was still some areas in my life where I was inadequate, but I told myself that I was adequate. So I continued to lie to myself, and I continued to be inadequate, or deficient is the word I want to use, in areas of my life. Right. And that's what a lot of us do. Instead of us looking in the mirror, and I'm still we're still talking about marriage and even single life. Right. Instead of us being honest with our deficiencies, we rather lie and tell ourselves that we are all this in a bag of chips, knowing that there are issues that we need to deal with before marriage and while we are married. Right. Me and Sharon talked about something today. We talked about, some people say, well, when it comes into marriage, you bring 100%, and then you bring 100%, and so you have 200%. And I said, well, Sherry she can't stand it. She can't stand when people say 200%.
I can't say 200.
So
it just said 100.
I say 50 and 50. But the thing about marriage is
let him explain. Yeah, let him explain.
Okay, there are two. There are two entities that are coming together to make one. So there's 50% that. Now think about it. 50% on paper. All right, 50% on paper. The wife brings 50%. The husband brings 50% on paper. You don't know how much of that 50% on paper is true until pretty much you get married, or until you're able to see what's on that paper, if it lines up with the individual. Paul Pierce, all those who are the Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, suck. Anyway, so all the Cleveland Cavaliers fans, I ain't said it right, Cleveland Cavalier fans, boo.
Okay.
So Paul Pierce talked about something last night. He talked about how he said that before players even come into the league, he said, pretty much people already crowned them as one of the greatest or the greatest. And sometimes, when I was talking about all the 50-50 on the paper, you don't know how much of that 50 is true until that spouse starts seeing up close and personal how much of that 50% is really actually 50%. And it takes the spouse to pretty much be able to see the inadequacies or the deficiencies in that individual's life and help that individual pretty much, what's the word I want to use? Take that lie and help them turn it into a truth.
And turn it into a truth. Find the truth.
Find the truth.
Right.
So, I mentioned, do you have anything to say before I can talk?
No, go ahead.
So, when I was talking about the lie, jealousy, for instance. So, when you don't truly know who you are, it causes you to envy what others have.
I said Golden State is golden.
Golden State is golden? Oh, yes, sir, they are. Golden State is golden. And Cleveland is done. But you start to envy those who have what you think should be yours. And so, I need you to help me out here.
Okay, so earlier today we were having a discussion, and TJ was saying, because a lot of us say when we come into a relationship, I give you 100 and the other person gives you 100. And yes, I grant that. I get that. I understand why people say that. But what he was trying to say is, when we come together, when you someone here, and okay, I'm here, he's here, and we decide to come together. All right, so I'm bringing my percentage, he's bringing his percentage. And so a lot of times we feel like we bring in all of us. But it's not until we get together and we start dating and we start seeing each other and we start going through some things that we realize that there's some things about us that is not completely there.
That's it.
We find out some hidden things about each other that we did not know. We're discovering each other. We're learning each other.
Right.
The thing is, we find out that I'll say for me, when I got with TJ, I didn't realize how emotionally damaged I was, emotionally hurt. I really thought I was good. Even though I didn't know who I was, I really thought I was good.
I'm still talking about the lie.
Yeah, and so I was telling myself I was fine. I kept telling myself I was fine. But the more I talked about things, the more our lives unfolded, the more we grew together and we was discovering who we were together. I realized that, there's just some things about me just a little incomplete. So what was my weakness, was his strength. And so I realized that, where I thought I was complete in or efficient in, really I wasn't. I was deficient, and he was more efficient in it than I was. And so you find yourself sometimes in a relationship that you think you're strong in something, but, sometimes you go into a relationship, you may not be strong in that because your partner completes you. Your partner is I'm going to say the better half of you, but your partner may have strengths that are your weaknesses, and that what makes you complete. So that's like bringing the 50 together to make that 100. The Bible says that, that he shall leave his mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one. So it takes us coming together. So whatever I am dealing with, whatever I have, and what I don't have, he has. So, and whatever he don't have, I have. And that makes us one.
Thank you.
That's what we do.
Proverbs 14:5 says, "An honest witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies." I'll say it again. It says, Proverbs 14:5 says, "An honest witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies." We were talking earlier about strongholds. Mm-hmm. We were talking about a lot of us, well, some of us probably still do. I mean, I guess everybody deals with some type of, I don't want to say struggle, but some type of deficiency. Yeah. And we were talking about, people say, the generational curses and so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. So for some people, I'll just say, I'll make it plain. I won't go too deep, but I'll make it plain. So some people, they might have might have an issue with gossip, per se. Mm-hmm. That would be a deficiency. And so people come and say, well, you gossip too much. But what we do is, instead of us, and mind you, some people that come to you, they just come to you just to be coming to you. But some people who honestly, who have your best interest at heart, they say that, they tell you that you're a liar. Instead of us accepting what they're saying, the first thing we do is we chime back and say, no, what? I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. But when you look into that mirror says, you are a liar. So what I mean by telling lies, I mean when the truth is right in front of your face, you deny the truth. And when you deny the truth, it holds you back. Which in your marriage, when you're being shown the truth, for instance, if you're horrible with finances, for instance, Sherry is good. She's wonderful when it comes to organization, administration. If anybody need administration done, this is a plug. You can call Sherry. But she's good with administration. I'm not. So as long as I continue to tell myself, oh, you're great with administration. You're great. You're wonderful. I'm lying to myself. And I know all the time that I suck when it comes to administration. The part of the spouse's job is, as you mentioned earlier, the area where you're weak. 9 out of 10 times what God does is, like she said, God takes, 9 out of 10 times, whatever the husband is weak in, the wife is strong in. Whatever the wife is weak in, the husband is strong in. Yeah. And what we're supposed to be helpmates. We're supposed to help one another become efficient in whatever area that we're weak in. The problem comes in that, like I said, when we lie to ourselves and we deny that we have areas that need to be worked on. Myself as a man, I have tremendous pride. Why are you looking at me funny?
Really?
Hey, look, the truth will make you free.
The truth will set you free.
No, it said the Bible said make you free.
Oh.
But I have a tremendous issue with pride, and I do not like to be told when I'm wrong.
Right.
She does not mind telling me that I am wrong. And I may not, and I'm sure I'm not the only husband that feels that way. But, I see somebody else agrees. I see some hearts coming off the screen. I'm not the only one that feels that way. But what I have to do is I have to humble myself.
Right.
I have to humble myself and tell that lie that I've told myself, you are a lie. You need to listen to what she's saying. I may not, here's where the pride comes in. I may not tell her in her face, Sherry, you were right. But I'll get by myself. And I've told this story before. I'll get by myself and I'll say, you know what? She was right. You need to listen to what she's saying. But I have to tell that lie the truth. Right. And the truth is, you're wrong and you need to be worked on.
Right.
And that hurts a lot of marriages because sometimes the spouse will try to tell one another the truth.
Right.
And you're supposed to tell the truth in love and so forth and so on. But sometimes, no matter how you bring the truth, the lie don't want to hear the truth. Right. And if you're the one that's lying to yourself, you don't want to hear the truth. The truth never lies. Lie can't stand the truth. So, and that's like I said, that's one of the things I had to do. I had to humble myself. There's a lot of things she told me over the years that I have not liked, but I had to humble myself because it helps. It helps strengthen your marriage. Not only does it help strengthen your marriage, but it helps encourage your spouse when, they feel like, I can come to my husband, I can come to my wife, and I can be honest with them and tell them about the lies that they're telling themselves. Right. It builds up trust. It builds up the confidence of the spouse.
Yes.
And it just helps.
It makes them a better person.
Yes.
It builds their character. It just makes them a better person. And it frees them. It frees them to help somebody else. Because when you're bound by a lie, something we were discussing earlier, a lie is contagious. A lie is a deception. A lie is an intentional deception. And so it makes you believe this false reality that you're walking around in. And so you're walking around thinking that this is real, but really it's not. And so, I'll take something just false. You think that red lipstick look good on you. And really it just don't look good on you. But you think it looks good on you. And but you'll keep walking around until someone that really loves you, someone that really cares about you and say, well, hey, why don't you try these neutral colors? Or hey, why don't you try this? Or whatever. It gives you a broader perspective. But yet you're just determined to do what you want to do because you think this looks right on you. And I'm not saying red lipstick look wrong on folks, but I'm just using it. I'm just thank you, baby. I'm just using this as an example. But what we do is we tend to take our lie with us. We tend to carry around. It's like a masquerade or a mask. We tend to take our lie around with us, and it affects not only us, but it affects him. If you have a partner, it affects your spouse. If you have a friendship, it affects your friends. If you have children, it affects your children.
Yes.
We was discussing like going back to gossip. So if you love to gossip, if you love to run your mouth, or if you real smart and sarcastic, I'm very sarcastic. I can be very sarcastic. Nah, but yeah, I'm very sarcastic. And so, when your children come back and snap back at you, you shouldn't be shocked. It's just a mirror of what they see all day long. You know what I'm saying? So, but if somebody's trying to tell you, Sherry, you need to stop being so sarcastic. You too quick with the tongue. You need to bring that back. You need to trim it down. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just being real. I'm being honest. But, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so, it can affect our children, because what we do is we go around and gossip, or we be very sarcastic or whatever around our children. And then, when our children going around and saying stuff about other people, or they saying something smart out their mouth, you sitting there, well, where they get that from? What do you think? They looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, that lie can really blind you from a lot of things if you don't know you have a problem. And the thing is, you need someone in your life that loves you enough to be honest with you enough to help seek the honesty in you. So when you see the lie, you can be honest and you can be free. And then once you're free, then that can free you to be a blessing to someone else. It'll free you to help someone else,
And when we were talking about the lies, bottom line is, what we have to do is, the reason why we have to tell, and there's plenty of lies that we tell ourselves, as we mentioned. There's plenty of lies we tell ourselves about things that we think we are, fine and so forth and so on. But the thing is, what we have to do is we have to learn how to kill that lie.
Right.
And like you kill that lie with being honest with yourself, being honest with your mate, being honest with God. I mean, of course, you can kill the lie with, the word of God and fasting and praying. But after you finish fasting and praying, you also got to put forth the work.
Yes.
The Bible says that faith without works is dead. So that means that, if you don't put forth the work, if you have no life, it has no breath. You have to kill that lie, because what that lie can do is, the lie can become generational. So that means that if you're dealing with issues or inadequacies and so forth and so on, and you continue to tell yourself, you know what, that thing is fine, you're going to teach your spouse that, you're going to teach your children that. So then that lie carries over to the next generation. And so, because 9 out of 10 times the kids do what the parents do. Mm-hmm. And so in order to kill that lie in your generation that you're in, and in your marriage, you have to be honest. You have to be honest. Honesty is the key.
Yes.
And then not only that, you have to be open to honesty.
Yes. Yes, you have to be open.
You have to be open, because with your kids, your kids, not only do they we talk about the things that kids have to deal with in this generation, and so we know the things that we had to deal with in our generation. But like I said, if we don't be honest and we don't kill the lie and just be done with it, like I said, the kids got to deal with it along with the things that they have to deal with their generation. And because we were looking to be healthy.
Yes.
So we're looking to have healthy marriages, healthy kids, and like I said, honesty is the key. Honesty is the key to destroying the lie. Openness is the key to destroying the lie. Being humble is the key to destroying a lie.
Facing it. Facing you is hard. Nobody likes facing themselves. Nobody. I did not like facing myself, because we see the ugliness about us, but in order to see the beauty about you, you have to face the ugliness first. And so, I had to look myself in the mirror, and I had to say these things to myself, well, Sherry, you're great at this, but you're not good in this. And so what I know in certain business worlds and certain corporate arenas, they tell you, keep working on your strengths, keep working on your strengths, focus on your strengths, work on your strengths. But I don't believe in just that. I think you should work on your weaknesses as well, to make them stronger. That's how you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's how you get strength, and that's how you become balanced. We have a friend. Our time is running out, and so I just want to run into this. We had one of our friends that we know. She is living in the Maryland area right now, and she's single. She's over 30, and she's looking for love. She's a Christian. She wants a husband. She wants children. Which there's nothing wrong with that desire. For those who desire it, amen. Desire it. For those who do not, it's your choice. But she asked us a question. She inboxed us. So anybody who has questions and want to inbox, we feel free to give you our opinion on it. And so she was saying that she's a single Christian woman who's trying to live right. She's celibate. You know, she's waiting on the Lord to send her husband and her family. But, you know, she's more reserved. She's more to herself. She doesn't put on the wigs, or she doesn't do the weave. You know, she doesn't do all this makeup. She doesn't do all these dressing up in heels and stuff. You know, most people will call her plain Jane or whatever, you know. But she's just being her. And she's learning how to love her. And that's part of our series, Learning to Love Me, Loving Me. And so her question is, you know, well, what do I do? You know, what do I do not to lose hope completely? Because I'm going to continue to look, but I'm not going to put myself out there like that, you know, come out my character in order to get a man, you know. So what do I do not to lose hope? What do I do to stay focused on God? Because this is something I desire. This is something I want. And so, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I thought you were about to say something.
I was going to say is, you know, the friend, she was saying how people were telling her, you know, don't you go find your husband, and all of this stuff that pretty much people were telling her to step out of the spiritual covenant that we're supposed to have with God, whether you're singles, really, that you're supposed to have with God. Like she's celibate. And, you know, people are telling her all of these types of things, you know, and so forth and so on. Pretty much trying to get her to believe the lie that she has to, in order to get a husband, yeah, or in order to find fulfillment, or that she has to step out of the covenant, mm-hmm, that she has made with God. Yes, let me say this. Yes, it is hard to be single and follow the covenants of God.
It is.
And I also hear, you know, single people say, well, y'all don't know how it is to be, before we got married, we were single. So we know how hard it is. I mean, yeah, we have it a little easier now because of, you know, having a maid and so forth and so on, but we still have other challenges. But I've said that to say that those who are single, don't believe the lie of the enemy that say that you have to fornicate. Because keep yourselves. Don't sell yourself short and mess around and receive a man who God does not have for you. Right. Because I know a lot of the singles, you know, some of them are praying for husbands, and sometimes you see people post stuff on Facebook about they waiting for their king and that, which is nothing wrong with that. But don't believe the lie and don't settle. Don't settle for any man. The Bible says that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and then the other part of it says he obtaineth favor. Don't settle for any old kind of man, not because he look good or whatever, because he's driving. Don't settle yourself.
Meech posed a question. Meech says, how can someone see or find her if she's not visible? Technically, she is visible. She's visible to God. See, the thing about us is that we position ourselves to God, and He finds us.
Right.
He finds us. He come looking for us. And if he's a godly man, if he's tuned in. Let me say that. If he's tuned in, I want to say if he's tuned in, not so much a godly man, because the reason why I say he tuned in, because we had another couple to chime in, and the guy was not saved, but the girl was saved. But he said automatically he knew that she was the one. And she was like, I don't know if I want to talk to him. You not saved. You not in church. And so she kind of pushed him off at first. But then he had to kind of somewhat prove himself. So he came to church. He got in to know about this Jesus, even though he thought preachers were cricket. Anyway, cricket. But anyway, you know, so the thing is, if you're in the right position with God, you're already visible. You're already visible because God has already shined a certain light upon you that only the man has He set for you will see it.
Right, and that goes back to believing the lie, because the lie tells you, which is really the lie is the enemy within you and the enemy. The lie tells you that you're not visible.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear short skirts or have your cleavage showing to be quote unquote visible. You see what I'm saying? You can adorn yourself pretty much in your holy attire. All right. Now I'm not telling you that you got to have you got to have on gowns, but you can adorn yourself in a holy manner, or a manner that feels comfortable, and you'll still be visible. I promise you this: a man We see what we want to see.
Right.
Whether you got on a short skirt up to past your knees or whether you got a long skirt that drags it around, we see what we want to see.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about being visible. Don't believe that mess that people are telling you. Don't, like I said, don't sell yourself. Do not sell yourself singles. Don't sell yourself short. Men, don't sell yourself short. It ain't just women, because women can flaunt themselves too.
Yeah.
Everything that glitter is not gold. All right. So and you have to be prayerful also. Right. That's where staying in God's word and staying in God's faith comes. It's very important. You have to you have to be in tune with God, so that when God does send that special someone, he will let you know. Like me and Sherry, for instance, when and we're gonna wrap up. But when me and Sherry, I met Sherry, and I knew Sherry in high school or whatever the case may be. So, high school and life took over. So I met her again at my brother's graduation. And when she turned around and when she went to go walk, because I had my nephew over my head.
Right.
When she went to go walk away, God immediately spoke to me, and he said, "That's your wife." And this is 1999. So I'm at a graduation with a whole bunch of folks.
Like,
and matter of fact, she finds me out of all these people. And he spoke to me. He said, "That was your wife." Now I said, "God, okay, cool. Well, if you said it's my wife, then you got to work this thing out, because I don't know how to do it." And so God worked it out to the point where, things work. But even then, he had to speak to her and tell her that I was her husband also.
Yeah.
She didn't just take my word for it. She had to hear from God also. Because God will not play you for the fool. God will always confirm what he is saying. He will always confirm his word. If he's saying that's your husband or he's saying that's your wife, he's going to confirm it. He's not going to leave you out there to dry. And that's something that you got to believe God for. Like I said, you cannot continue to believe the lies of the enemy. Don't believe the things of the world. Always listen to the voice of God, and always listen to his truth.
Right. His
truth is what really matters. Not your truth. His truth is what really matters.
Right. So...
Shatabasi.
Like Taylor said. All right.
So, with that being said,
we are 5 minutes past our time.
We are 5 minutes past our time.
But I hope this helped a little bit. We kind of ventured on and off both ways, but we just want, I guess the thing is, our heart desire is that it takes some time with a relationship.
Yes.
But one of the key components to a real great relationship is to be honest. And sometimes the truth is ugly.
Oh, wow.
The truth is very ugly. We want the truth to be empowering. We want the truth to take us places. But sometimes it won't take us until we see something that's very negative, something very nasty or whatever. And then once we see it, then, all right, God, how do I deal with this? How do I make it better? What we do is we see something ugly about us and we avoid it, or we deny it, or we run away from it, or, we don't believe it. We throw things away. And honestly, you need to face it. You have to face things head on. Yeah. We have to face our truth head on. And with you being honest with you, that is loving you.
Yes.
And then not only that, being honest with yourself helps me to love him.
It does.
And then not only that, when both of us are to a place where we're loving each other how we're supposed to, being honest with each other, that helps us love us even more. And it makes us stronger. You know what I'm saying? Because we're being very honest with ourselves. Coming to the point that, we got some friends out there. They're like comedians. They are awesome. But being honest with ourselves, we don't have to compare ourselves to everybody, because what we've done is we've learned to love and like us. And I think that's the thing about honesty. You teach yourself not so much how to love yourself, but how to honestly just like yourself. Right. And liking yourself means I like the good about me, the bad about me, to make it better about me, whatever. And so, I
just got two statements. It does not take courage to believe a lie, but it takes courage to believe the truth. I'll say it again. It does not take courage to believe a lie, but it takes courage to believe the truth.
Right.
It's hard to believe the truth. It is tough to believe the truth.
Yeah.
Because the truth is hard. I'll say that, and I'll leave it this. Proverbs 18 and 8 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongues," which means that if you lie and if you believe the lie, you don't have any power in your tongue. And it says, "And those who love it eats its fruit. So if you're lying to yourself or you are a liar, you're going to eat fruits of lies. But if you're honest with yourselves, you're going to eat fruits of. You're going to bear honest fruits.
Right.
And in a marriage, what you want to bear is you want to bear honest fruits.
Yeah.
You don't want to give your spouse any reason to doubt you or to doubt what you say or what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you said you're going to the store, you want them to know that you're going to the store and you're going to be back home.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody, man. For,
yeah, we're way over
we
our
are
time tonight.
8 minutes over, and we do apologize that we just said 30
minutes.
But
yeah.
sometimes it gets, well, you got it. But we thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Yes.
And if we sound funny, I don't see him up there. But if we sound
Sean ain't
funny,
up there
Sean
tonight.
up here. We sound funny, it's because of Sean Sharon.
Sean Sharon.
Yeah, he gave us this congestion that we had. But I believe God for healing. I believe God for healing.
Amen. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Amen. Show your love with your hearts or whatever. For those that are still on, share it. We still continue, y'all, to keep going to our Thursday Love page because we eventually want to get everybody to our Thursday Love page. And we're coming soon with our Thursday Love webpage, our blog. We still encourage couples, singles, anybody. We encourage y'all to send your testimonies in. If you have any questions, talking about relationships, you can go on and on and on for days and on different topics. But we want to hear you. We want to hear you. We want to hear about you. We want to hear about your relationship. How it is being a young married couple. How it feels to be married 20-something odd years and you got teenagers, or whatever. Or if you're single and, you keep getting bad relationships or, whatever it may be, Or
even if there's some that are on that have been divorced.
Or been divorced,
that has been remarried. Please share the wealth. Share the knowledge of some of the things that you've learned and some of the things that you wouldn't do again or some of the things that you would do again or just things of not to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just everybody.
Blended families.
Yes.
We know that's real huge right now. Blended families. I heard on the radio today a woman who's doing a conference. She said she don't call it stepmom. She call it bonus mom. She's a bonus mom and she's getting a bonus daughter. So it's bonus. Everybody got their own thing. So we don't know everything, but what we know we're going to share. So we're going to continue with our series, Loving Me, Loving You, Loving Us.
And so we'll be on next week. But the following week we won't be on due to Holy Convocation 2017 Faith Assembly. Pray for me. June 19th through the 25th. So that week,
that's right.
That week, we won't have Thursday Love, but what we're going to do is we'll present it next week. We're going to have a Thursday Love challenge. Yes. So during that week that we're off, you guys will, married, single, whatever, you will do that challenge, and then we'll even do the challenge. And so the week when we come back on, we'll discuss, and practically you guys can go to the Thursday Love page and present your results from the challenge. Thank you guys once again for joining Thursday Love.
And y'all have a great night.
I am your host.
Oh, God.
William T.J. Bridges, and this is my wife, Sherry Watrice Bridges. You guys have a wonderful night.
All right.
And
love you guys.
Love you guys.
Oh, I ended it.